Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, my name's Em, a lover of all things planning and stationery, and today I'm going to be sharing a setup video of my brand new pocket Moterm. I recently purchased this to try up a slightly different setup from my Passport TN. If you haven't seen that setup video, I will link it below. But basically I'd been eyeing up a pocket for a while. I kept seeing gorgeous Filofax ones that I really wanted to try, but Filofax I'm finding are getting increasingly expensive without necessarily increasing their quality. I recently purchased a yellow Finsbury in personal, and although I like it, I don't feel like it's worth essentially double the cost of a Moterm. So if you're not familiar with Moterm, they are a company who sell on AliExpress and I think Amazon. They make leather planner covers, and this will be my second cover. So, you know, I already know the quality of them. I have a cousin cover that I purchased a few years ago. I will leave the blog post review in a link either in the pinned comment or the description. But I really liked the quality of the cover. The leather was nice. It felt, you know, sturdy. It was really well made. But their covers are generally half the price of a Filofax alternative. And given that I've been feeling the quality's been going downhill with Filofax, you know, and I wasn't 100% sure that pocket would work for me. I didn't want to spend all of that money on a pocket Filofax only for it to not work. I'd rather spend, you know, half the money in the hope that it does work. But if it doesn't, you know, I've not lost out a huge amount of money when I then go and resell it on. Okay, onto the planner itself. This is, as I said, the pocket size in pebbled burnt orange. Including postage, this was £46. So not super cheap, but not hideously expensive either, particularly when you factor in it's leather. It's arrived very quickly. I think it was 2 weeks, which for an AliExpress order is pretty decent. I'm used to waiting kind of 4 to 5 weeks for them, although I must admit I've not ordered really that much in the past few years, so maybe it has just generally got better and I've not been aware. It does come in a nice box and a kind of drawstring pouch. If you saw my unboxing on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, I will link that below in case you don't follow me on Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram, just so you can see kind of how it arrives. It was a really nice touch. It was really well packaged. It was definitely a step up actually from the last Moterm that I purchased, that I don't remember kind of coming with any of those bells and whistles. But opening it up, as you can see, you get a nice zipped kind of, I suppose, coin section. It's got give on it, so, you know, one thing with my Malden, for example, the zipped pocket in the front doesn't have that, is it a gusset? Which means that, you know, you are quite limited in terms of what you can put in here. And, you know, although I don't carry cash, if I was setting this up as a purse and carried cash, this would come in very handy. So yeah, really like that. It's then got a pocket on the side, good space, good size. I think, you know, the only thing personally I might have wanted differently is maybe card pockets here, purely because I will be using it as a purse. I don't necessarily like having all my card slots on the back, but I'll come to that in a second. But yeah, good amount of pockets, good amount of real estate. And then along the back we've got a big pocket. So I'm used to a pocket of this size because this is what the cousin cover has, a big back pocket. The lining is probably the letdown. I don't like synthetic feeling linings, although I know it's a lot sturdier. It doesn't kind of stain and mark. You know, it's my own personal preference, but I just like to call it out. Okay, onto the back, and these are the card slots that I mentioned that I would prefer at the front. Purely a me thing, just because I reach my cards more than I would reach for the zipped part, but I know that's a minor thing and me specific. But you get 3 of them, plus the larger pocket for anything that you might want to put in there that won't necessarily fit in there. I like this. I like that they've used the full width of here just to give you a little bit of extra flexibility in terms of what you put in. And you then got a pocket there. One thing that I do love about these Moterms, because the leather is so soft and supple, you can really stuff these pockets, and you can stuff this planner quite nicely if you really wanted to. If you had loads of receipts or vouchers or things like that, you can get away with putting these in the pockets. You then get a leather flyleaf, which I really like. I like that it comes with this as standard. It's a really nice touch. This fits my bank cards and ID in, hence why I've taken them out. You may be wondering why I haven't put it to the front. If I was talking about wanting card slots at the front, it's purely because I wanted to have my inbox at the front, and also I wanted to keep the card section together. It's a minor thing, but it's what I wanted to do. In here though, you know, they're not a massive useful thing. They are just some task cards that I prettied up with some sterling ink stickers, just to kind of give it a bit of prettiness. I'm not big on decorating planners. I'll only do bits and pieces, and that's kind of my limit for this planner, really. So yeah, so that's it in terms of kind of the, I guess, the main bulk of the planner. And when we talk about the inserts, you don't get a huge amount in this. So this is probably the biggest disappointment with the Moterm planner, is the inserts that you get. You get about 50 or so pages of this paper, and that's it. Obviously, you're not necessarily buying a planner for their inserts, but I just wanted to flag it. You're not going to get any diary pages. You are going to have to buy the Filofax ones or print your own, or something like that if you do want them. So in terms of a setup of this, I've kept it really simple. I don't need a load on the go. I did make myself some pages for what I wanted, just so, you know, again, because I'm not sure if the size is going to work for me, I didn't want to spend a load on printable inserts just to kind of ditch this planner in a few weeks' time. So I just whipped up some simple ones in Silhouette Studio and printed them out and added a bit of stickers for decoration. So first up is just a quick inbox. So if I'm out and about and I think of something that I need to do or action, I just write it in here and then transfer it into my main planner, which is my weeks, when I get home. I then made some kind of dashboard / dividers with sterling ink vellum, just to, again, pretty up, kind of, you know, create some divisions, but then everything is marked up with a post-it note and a sticker, just so I know where the important things are to get to. I then go into basically just a yearly overview. So here is just kind of basics of what's due, so like my car insurance, when I need to change my mascara. Just, it's something that I have in my Finsbury as well, and I just wanted to replicate it in here, just so, because it's date stuff. It's handy to have, particularly for things like travel insurance. So if I'm booking a holiday, I know quickly, oh yeah, I am going to need to review my travel insurance that month, etc. I then have another one of these, but for things like birthdays, events, anniversaries, etc. Again, so I've just got them to hand so that, you know, if I'm planning something for a weekend or whatever, I can just kind of have a quick look and make sure that it may not potentially clash with an event I might have for somebody's birthday. I then go into a monthly planner printable that I did buy. I'll leave a link below, just because I didn't want to have the faff of creating these pages. I'll let someone else do that for me, and I'll pay them money all day long for it. These are undated, so I have just gone through, added in the dates and added in my plans for the year. I then created basically a bit of a bookmark. This was just something I pulled together just because I wanted something to be able to use to kind of quickly get to the current month's page, because as I say, I don't need this for a lot of things I'm out and about. It is purely to look at what's going on, am I busy. So I did need something to quickly use, and I basically cut down a I think this was a full size, kind of personal size rulery thing, built for Filofaxes, that had these tabs on it, and I just added a bit of washi and cut it down and rounded the edges just so I've got something to quickly go to. I then have some notes pages just because I like to scribble on the go. Again, I won't use huge amounts of these, but I like to have a bit of paper with me. There's some notes that I have used when I was on holiday, and I just wanted to make some notes about a job interview I was having. I've then got a couple of pages again that I created. as you can see, slightly differing sizes here. I've not been particularly precise about setting this up. This was kind of a quick setup, see whether I like the size, and then if I do like the size and I do like the planner, I'll probably go back around and kind of make it look a little fancier and a bit more tailored to what I need. And also kind of after a few weeks of testing, because in this I didn't have any spending pages, for example. I'll see if I use these. As you can see, I haven't yet, but if they come in handy, then I know to kind of carry it over into my full setup. And then I just go on to these note pages, you know, not massively different from the dotted pages that I've got for notes, but I just wanted the option basically to have them in there. And that's it. Oh, sticker release paper. So because I like to kind of pick up ephemera when I'm out and about for the scrapbook, I like to have a page of sticker release paper in case there is a sticker that I want to put in my planner at any point. So yeah, I just cut down and hole punched that. I then tie it all together with an ollie clip, because one thing I knew that would bug me whilst using this as a purse is if every time I opened it to grab a card, that all the pages would fly open. Now all I have to do is that, grab my card, closed, done, easy. Whereas if it wasn't there, then I'd have to root around the pages and they'd open, and it would annoy me. I'm easily annoyed, if you hadn't been able to tell. And then finally, because I realised I haven't mentioned it, pen loop. Really good size pen loop. It's elasticated. Again, I'm sorry to hate on Filofax, I don't mean to, but their pen loops are not similarly elasticated, so finding a pen that actually fits in is difficult. Whereas that's not really an issue here. I'm just using a Sarasa clip. It's a nice, easy pen, doesn't smear, can write quickly and then close the pages and not have to worry about getting ink everywhere. Definite requirement for an on-the-go planner. As you can see, I'm not doing any of the colour coding that I did in here, again, just because it was a simple setup just to try the size out. In terms of how this is working for me so far, I've only been in it a few weeks, but so far so good. The size is, so, you know, when mashed against the passport, for example, it is a fair bit bigger on this side, which isn't a problem if you're using huge handbags, whereas me, sometimes I do take a small handbag out, so I am noticing the size difference sometimes, albeit it is minimal. In terms of the general setup, it is working well. I can flick to my cards very easily. I can use the pages, you know, for quick jotting down, quick appointments, or just checking of appointments. This is coming in really handy. The bit that is currently my biggest problem with this planner is actually the back pocket. So as I've mentioned before, I'm used to the back pocket in a Moterm. That's what my A5 Habanichi cover had. However, the back cover on this is noticeably bigger. So when you kind of look at it from that angle, there is a lot of give in it. There's a lot of space. It's not like that on my A5. It's a lot more flat. Therefore, I can lay the planner a lot more flat in the A5 size, whereas this just does not lay flat and doesn't even get close to laying flat. It's not even like with Filofaxes where you can train them to lay flat over time because of the setup of them. They're just, you know, as I mentioned, the Finsbury is quite taut, but you can get it to lay flat, you know, sometimes relatively easily, and when it does lay flat, you know, you can write in it. Whereas with this, I can't write in this, you know, beyond a literal quick jot. So if I do want to do anything big in terms of, you know, a big update to my calendar, so sometimes I'll sit down, usually every couple of weeks, and just do a quick sync up with my weeks and make sure that everything matches in here and I'm not missing any appointments. It's a bit of a faff to do that, to the point that I've actually cut into these pages just so I can easily, you know, get them in and out. It's not a massive deal, particularly when you think about the TN, that to an extent does have a similar issue. You can get the clips that hold it open, which does make it a lot easier to write in, but sometimes it is just easier to take the notebook out and write separately. So it's kind of comparable, but at the moment I am kind of struggling to really fully get on board with this, just because it just feels so bulky and yeah, a little bit difficult to use. Hopefully it'll just be something I get used to. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts on it. I'll probably do a check-in in kind of another month or so, either with an updated setup, because I've decided I love it and I want to do kind of like a full pretty setup, or you know, rejig it based on things I'm using, things I'm not using, or you'll see me back in this and I'll explain why. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.